If you read the book, The Five Love Languages by Gary Chapman, you can discover your mate's love language and help deepen your communication levels. I've learned through this process that often love languages are not the same between spouses. For my husband, his is acts of service. He feels blessed when I cook dinner for him each night or pick up that something that was on his to-do list. My love language is words of encouragement. When Carl shares with me how he feels about something I did or uplifts me during the day, with a quick text, I feel blessed, like a bright, sunshiny day. Not that we have one today, but you know what I mean. Now, if Carl tries to use his love language to lift me up, the results are not as favorable. It's not that I don't appreciate when he helps around the house or does something for me, but I feel more inspired when he pours words of encouragement into my spirit. However, one weekend a few years ago, things changed. I ate a tainted meal and my stomach, it decided to remove what I placed in it throughout the night. My husband and I needed to do 2 presentations first thing the following morning. However, after being up all night, my energy level was a 1.2. We managed to pull it together and pressed on to complete our presentations. And I stayed away from any food or drink because I didn't want to have to leave the room in a rush and scare everyone else in that process. After lunch, well, not me, my husband, we had a small break to regroup. We took the elevator to the lobby and sought out some medication in the hotel store. Sadly, they didn't have anything I needed. However, the woman at the shop mentioned there was a pharmacy 2 lights down the road. That was good news. I figured I'd take a walk with my husband, but my stomach disagreed and overruled that decision. So my husband said he'd take the trip by foot and be back in time for the next presentation. So off he went, and I went back to our room and laid down to get some rest. I woke up about a half an hour later realizing he wasn't back yet. I picked up my phone and called him and realized he'd left his phone in the room too. Panic set in and I went to my phone and looked up the closest pharmacy to figure out where did he go, and realized it was not a couple lights away and it was about a mile away. We didn't have a car. My husband was on foot. There was no phone or watch, and he was in an unfamiliar area. Oh, by the way, it was a fairly warm day in that town, not like here, and he was wearing a long sleeve shirt thinking he was only going to be a few minutes. And after about 45 minutes later, I headed towards the elevator to go downstairs and let everyone know we were going to be late. I was suddenly greeted by a very hot and tired husband when the elevator doors opened, and he had traveled the mile to the store and back. He realized how far it was, but still pressed on until he conquered that medication I needed. I was so glad to see him. Words of encouragement were not going to help me that day. No amount of praise would have helped my stomach feel better. I desperately needed my husband's acts of service. I was so grateful for his loving gesture that helped me throughout the rest of that day. I wasn't able to eat again till that following day, but my stomach started that healing process with the new meds. Never forget, a love language, it can change in an instant, depending on your situation. I'm also so grateful for my husband. Love you guys.